my friends, and welcome to another episode of Conspiracy Chronicles Unveiling the Truth. I'm your host, Gurkam Yuksef. Today is January 24th, 2025, episode 1 of season 2. First of all, I want to start by saying thank you to everyone that has listened to season 1. Season 1 was a blast and very successful. So here we are with season 2. We're doing things a little bit differently in season 2. I'm going to get to a little bit about what that's all about in just a quick second. But if you are listening or watching me right now, you probably already know that I am now doing video podcasts. In season 1, it was more just an audio podcast, and a lot of it was scripted. So I would spend a lot of time scripting out a podcast, and then I would read it on the podcast itself. A lot of you responded back saying it sounded a little robotic, a little scripted. So I'm kind of shifting away from that, making it a little bit more real, a little bit more engaging. Speaking of engaging, I do intend on having a live podcast every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're watching me on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button and click that bell icon so you'll be notified each time I'm going live or whenever a new podcast is dropped. Um, but if you join me on the live podcast, you'll be able to interact with me in real time and engage in some really amazing topics. Um, Now, being an independent podcaster, it does take a lot of time. It does take a lot of resources to create and maintain the podcast. So I rely on you as my listeners to hit that follow button, give me a 5-star rating, smash that subscribe button, and click that bell icon so that you can be notified every time a new podcast drops. Your support does go a long way. Please click that share button and share it with your friends and family as well. You can now DM me on Instagram at Conspiracy Chronicles Podcast. I do read each and every one of those messages that come in, and I will respond to you as quickly as I can. Now, if you're still waiting for a response, that just means I haven't gotten to your message yet. There are times where I get overly inundated by messages from our listeners, and my intention is to get back to each and every one of them. So it does take a little bit of time. So, what's coming up in season 2? We have a lot of controversial topics to cover, anything from religion to UFOs to time travel, cancer treatments. We got a good lineup of topics to cover for season 2. I do intend on having a lot of guests on the show as well. So it's not just going to be a solo podcast. I will be introducing some guests. Some of them will be experts on the topics that I'm talking about. Others will be here to debate with me in terms of what I have to present, and they're going to give their side as well. So it's going to become a very interesting show indeed. Something that you don't want to miss. Again, I am doing a video podcast format now, so in doing so gives me a little bit of flexibility in terms of sharing with you some of the visuals that I'm looking at, or some videos that I've seen that I'd like to share with you, which I can now show you on the video podcast as well. Now, if you're listening to me as an audio podcast on Spotify, in your car, whatever it is, you'll still be able to hear the videos. And I'll try and explain any photos that I'm looking at on the screen as well so that you can also engage with me as well. But if you're watching me, it's even better. So kudos to you. So, what's going on in the world of conspiracies today? Um, so right now, there's all this talk about Trump. He had his inauguration on Monday. There's a lot of things on the move as of Monday up until today. Today's Friday. A whole week has gone by. There are a couple of things I'm going to be sharing with you, but one of the big things being discussed right now is Elon Musk and what he did during the speeches at the inauguration. We'll get to that shortly. Um, Trump is imposing tariffs on many countries. including Canada, with what is known at this time to be as high as 25%. We'll also discuss how Trump is pulling the wool over many of you Americans, or pulling the wool over your eyes with these tariffs, and we're going to discuss what that means to you um, moving forward as well. So stay tuned. Um, One more thing I want to cover in this episode. Has anyone heard anything else or anything new about these drones in New Jersey and New York? I mean, they came and gone as quick as a blink of an eye, and no one seems to be talking about it anymore. So let's dig a little deeper into that and see what that's all about. Um, when can we expect to get any answers? Is anyone doing anything about it? So we'll get to that as well. So let's start with the inauguration of Donald Trump. So we know on Monday he went through the official inauguration. He's now officially the president of the United States of America. Some of you are thrilled, some of you are worried. My personal view is buckle up. It's going to be a very interesting 4 years. So we'll see how this one pans out. Now, a lot of you have heard Elon Musk in the news over the past couple of months. He's been alongside Donald Trump for a long time now, and he's kind of getting into his ear. Now, we know that Elon Musk was at the inauguration. He actually sat with Trump's family during the inauguration. And during the speeches, he did something very interesting. He made a motion or a gesture as he was thanking everyone, and it has a lot of conspiracy theorists up in arms and talking about what this means. With Elon Musk as close as he is to Donald Trump, um, having this kind of gesture seems a little weird, and I think somebody needs to explain to us why he did that, and if anyone will admit to what the reasons behind it is, that would be fantastic. But that's still yet to come. I mean, the only person who can truly answer that is Elon Musk, but I don't think he's going to come out and say, "Hey, uh, I'm this or I'm that." But let's get to this video clip that I want to share with you. And this video clip, it's a short one. It basically just shows Elon Musk doing his thank you, and then doing the gesture that he's doing. So for those of you who aren't able to watch what I'm about to show you, he basically puts his hand to his chest and then straight up front, um, as for lack of a better term, I guess, uh, as a Nazi hello, right? And which has a lot of people worried and questioning what's going on here. So let me go ahead and just share that video. And let me cue this up really quick. Here we go.
And I just want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you.
There he goes. That's the first time. Turns around and does it again.
My heart goes out to you.
It is definitely very interesting. And I know a lot of people are discussing this at the moment. And I believe Elon Musk's daughter also made a comment um, uh, in regards to this the salute that was done by Elon Musk. A lot of great memes out there. A lot of them are pretty funny. I mean, I read a couple of them. I chuckled at a bunch, uh, but I mean, people being worried has a little bit of weight behind it. I mean, Elon Musk is extremely close to Donald Trump. Someone like this, who might have some weird views, some controversial things in mind, uh, is constantly whispering into Donald Trump's ear. How good is that for Americans? How good is that for um, immigrant Americans? We don't know yet. I mean, I think this came as a shock to a lot of people. I saw a couple of TikToks actually with people who own Teslas. I own a Tesla as well. I'm not running to go sell mine, but there were some TikToks out there where people are like, "Honey, we need to sell our Tesla. We need to get into something different. Maybe Switzerland makes a good car. We can get into you know uh, a type of car that doesn't um, have any connotation to any weird like Nazi related stuff, right?" um, so anyways, this one is yet to be um, cleared up, and over the next couple of weeks, I'm sure we're going to get some sort of comment from Elon Musk or somebody close to the matter, and we'll revisit this when we have a little bit more information. Now, Donald Trump is imposing tariffs on a lot of countries. Canada being one of the more heavily um, tariffed countries, and I know he mentioned that he was going to tariff Canada as of day one of his presidency. However, he seems to have now drifted from that and now saying he's going to have the tariffs onboarded as of February 1st. Now, whether or not that's going to happen or not is still up in the air. It may move again. He may give us a little bit more leeway. I know there's discussions happening with the government of Canada, the different premiers, the prime minister, between uh, Donald Trump and these tariffs. Now, uh, I did come across an interesting video of Donald Trump talking about why um, the tariffs are so much higher for Mexico and Canada. I'm going to play that for you really quick, and then I'm going to get into what these tariffs mean to our American friends in the South. Um, so let me just cue this up really quick, and here we go.
But if I disagree, I will let it be known.
So your tariffs plans for China and Mexico are much tougher. The ones for Canada and Mexico are much tougher than the one for China. Why is it softer for China?
Well, China's already paying a lot of tariffs because of me. And when you add them up, I would say, they're paying a lot. They paid hundreds of billions of dollars. They never paid 10 cents until I came along. When I came along, they've paid hundreds of billions of dollars. Never paid anything. And so they've already started at a higher base.
Is February 1st the date for Chinese tariffs as well, sir? February 1, or was that just Mexico and Canada?
It's Mexico and Canada, but we're talking about China too. Look, China's sending us tremendous amounts of bad drugs, fentanyl, really bad stuff. Most of it comes through Mexico. And we're losing, I think, 300,000 lives a year because of that. People say 150, 100, 120. I think 300,000 lives a year. Those are old numbers. The lower number is a low number. And we can't have that. They've got to stop sending it. I had a deal with President Xi, but it was a deal that wasn't followed up by Biden, of course, where they were going to issue the death penalty to people that make fentanyl, and that would have stopped it. But we'll have to stop it with tariffs. Okay, thank you very much, everybody.
So there you have it. I mean, um, I, I'm not sure exactly um, where he's going with all of this. I mean, he wants to severely punish Canadians and Mexicans with these heavy tariffs that he wants to put in as of February 1st. Now, what is uh, I'm not sure if many Americans understand what tariffs really are. I know maybe a majority do, but a lot are just kind of buying into what Trump is saying, and he's kind of pulling the wool over everyone's eyes. He basically says, we're going to tariff and uh, punish anybody who is bringing in supplies from other countries, because he wants to make these companies bring manufacturing into America, creating more jobs, creating, uh, stimulating the economy, you know, just a whole slew of lies that are coming out of his mouth. Now, do tariffs actually encourage companies to open up production in America. There may be a handful that may think that may be okay, but majority can't do that. And if they do, it's going to hit you as the Americans in your pocketbook because the way tariffs work, and I think this is where people are getting confused. Tariffs are not paid by the manufacturer. Tariffs are not paid by the country that is sending the goods over to America. Tariffs are paid by the people who are importing it into America. So, take for instance, uh, companies that are building homes, right? Uh, I'm going to go with a name here in Canada, to say Madame E Homes. And in America is building homes and they need lumber. They're importing lumber from Canada, which they do today, by the way. So Canada is one, or America is one of our number one exports for lumber. Um, so America uses a lot of our wood and our lumber that we send out. Now, supposing um, ABC company imports this lumber to build a house, they have to pay the tariffs on the lumber coming in. Now they're going to be paying 25% more to get this lumber in, and that money doesn't go to the manufacturer or to the shipper, right? So it doesn't go to any company here in Canada. It goes directly to the federal government. They're going to be collecting all this money. I don't know what they're going to do with it, but they're going to collect all this money. The importer, ABC company, who's building this house, now has to pay more. And in turn, they're going to charge the end customer or the end consumer more money. So it's going to cost them more to build this house. It's going to cost you more money to buy this house. Now, let's take this a little further. Let's talk about cell phones. uh, you have, Motorola, you have Huawei, you have all these other cell phone companies that are not as big as like Google, uh, the Google phone or the Apple iPhone. They have deep pockets like Samsung, but you got some of these smaller um, organizations that have phones, but they won't be able to afford um, setting up factories to build these phones in America. So they're still going to be building them offshore and then shipping them into America. It's going to make the price of these phones unattainable, um, as well as iPhones, mind you. So if you're a big iPhone fan, if you're good with paying $2,000 for a phone, be ready to pay perhaps maybe even double that for your cell phone. I mean, think of it this way. Okay, I'm going to try and break this down very simple. So let's say um, I sell T-shirts to the masses. I sell them for $10 a piece. I import my T-shirts in from China because it's cheaper. It's cheaper labor out there, so the manufacturer will hire an individual to make these T-shirts for $2 an hour, pay the employee $2 an hour. The T-shirt gets made, gets shipped to me. I can then in turn sell it for $10 and still make a profit. Now, if I bring the manufacturing of that T-shirt, that same T-shirt to America, I'm going to have to pay an employee maybe $15, maybe $20 an hour to make the same T-shirt. Not to mention the actual product itself is going to be a lot more expensive in America than it is in China, like the T-shirts itself. Then I'm going to get the T-shirt at a higher cost, and now I'm going to sell the same T-shirt, which I was selling for $10 previously. I'm going to sell it to you for $35. I'm not sure how this is supposed to stimulate economy, but I think it's going to hurt everybody's pocketbook a lot more. It's going to make the government filthy rich, uh, because with all the tariffs being paid, they're going to get hundreds and thousands and millions and maybe even close to billions of dollars in tariff revenue coming in. So be extra vigilant when they say, "Oh, we're going to be creating jobs." That's great. That really is. I mean, having more jobs whether it's in Canada or America. I mean, it's good for everybody, but at what cost, right? So yeah, that's great. You're going to be creating more jobs. More people will have more money and more jobs to go out and do things with. But everything that you buy is going to be more expensive. So is the squeeze worth the juice, right? So uh, go America, go, but at what cost? So, anyways, that being that, so now I want to jump into my last topic here, which is the New Jersey drones. There was huge news coverage. There was just talks about it every day. There was TikToks made about it. I couldn't get away from it. I mean, it was all about New Jersey drones and drones over New York, drones over New Jersey. There was, what are they? What are they doing? Has anyone heard anything since the new year? I mean, they've gone pretty quiet. So nobody still knows what they are or what they did or why they were flying around uh, all these different parts of New Jersey, New York. But uh, Trump has vowed to find out what this was all about. And this was this particular video I'm about to show you took place yesterday. It was 1 day ago, but looks like we're gonna eventually find out what this is all about. So here's a quick video clip of Trump talking about the drones, and let me just cue this one up. Here we go.
I would like to find out what it is and tell the people.
And can you commit to some kind
In
of...
fact, I'd like to do that. Could we find out what that was, Susie? Okay? Yeah, why don't we find out immediately? I mean,
Wonder how
I
serious
can't
he is.
imagine it's an enemy, or there would have been, people would have gotten blown up all over. Maybe they were testing things. I don't know why they wouldn't have said what it was. They had a lot of them flying over Bedminster, which is interesting, right?
All right, so we heard the president.
So that was the president, and he's obviously said he's going to find out, and hopefully he's going to share what he finds out. Um, Again, a lot of people were talking about these being UFOs. A lot of people have mentioned seeing plasmas up in the sky. A couple of them said they saw them during the day. How true some of these things are, I don't know. There was a lot of videos floating around saying there was a bunch of crashed ones. There was a bunch of AI generated footage out there. It's hard to say what's real, what's fake these days, but hopefully we're going to find out exactly what they were doing, what those drones were, where they went, and what they were doing, what the actual cause of them was. I mean, there was a lot of talk initially because they were going around from zone to zone. It seemed like it was almost flying in a zoned manner, right? In search for something. And of course, a lot of people got up in arms. They thought it was looking for weapons of mass destruction, a dirty bomb, some sort of radiation detection of some sort. But there was no real answers given. So we're hoping that Trump will find out, and if he hasn't already found out, and I'd be surprised if nobody from the military or the higher ranking officials have come up to him and not told him what this all was. I'm just wondering if he will come out and tell the public what this actually was. Uh, he is sworn to some level of secrecy and to maintain order. So if it's something that he may think may scare off the public, he's not going to come clean with this. Let's be completely honest, and we're going to have to keep pushing. And when I say we, I mean my American friends to the south. You have to keep pushing for the Freedom of Information Act. Get them to release whatever documents they can, and then if they won't release to us exactly what it was, then we're going to have to make our own assumptions, and then things can start snowballing pretty quickly from there. So I've seen this happen many times before when they don't tell us what's happening. We make up our own um, trajectory in terms of what is going on, and before you know it, now there's mass hysteria where there shouldn't be, perhaps. I don't know. But we shall see. Again, this happened yesterday, so we'll give him a couple of days to come back to us. So hopefully he'll find out within the week, and then by next Friday we should hear something. Hopefully, but I mean, I think we're running out of time here. Um, I want to, yeah, I think I'm just going to finish it here. And I want to thank you all for listening and joining me today on Conspiracy Chronicles, Unveiling the Truth. As always, I'm your host, Yerkam Yüksel. You can DM me on Instagram at Conspiracy Chronicles Podcast if you have any show ideas, suggestions, or would just like to comment on a past episode. I'd be more than happy to respond and perhaps even discuss it live on one of our Thursday shows. Um, Again, being an independent podcaster, I rely on the support of my listeners. If you like what you hear, please hit that follow button, give me a 5-star rating, or subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Your support does go a long way. You've been listening to Conspiracy Chronicles, Unveiling the Truth, with your host, Görkem Yüksel. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and most importantly, keep seeking the truth. Until next time, I'm Görkem Yüksel. Oops. This is some of the things that go on with this new video podcast. If you don't have the video turned on, or if you're not watching this, then you won't know what just happened, but the other people do. Until next time, I'm Görkem Yüksel.